Hello all. I've had a few people ask me how I make my Perch double dropper loop rigs with spinners, so I'm going to show you here. Now I'm using Seagar Blue Label 40-pound fluorocarbon, but it's not because Perch are line shy, it's because the thickness and the stiffness of a 40-pound is not going to twist and tangle as much as a lighter weight. So first, about 3 feet, make a large loop. The larger the loop, the larger your tag ends will be for your hook leader. So I make a loop that's about, I'd say about as large as a large Gatorade bottle. Now, tag ends in one hand, tag end in the other. Just start braiding them. I like to take approximately 10 twists. That would leave you 5 wraps on each side of the loop once it's completed. So again, I'm just twisting it. I put my 2 fingers in, take the bottom of the loop, pull it up through where I was just twisting, and lightly pull that. Don't cinch it yet. You're going to want to put that loop you just pulled through in your mouth, and now pull the ends apart, seating the knot. You'll get it about 80-85%, and then you may have to take your fingers like this, pull it a little bit tighter, and now seat it. Boom, right there. There you go, guys. That's a dropper loop. Now here's the secret sauce. Gonna grab some scissors, and you're going to cut one of these close to the knot you just did, maybe about eighth of an inch. So again, here's your dropper loop. Grab some scissors, slide it up one of these, and cut it. Boom. There we go. That's the knot you guys saw. So now you've been left with a tag end that you can put your hook and business end on. So now I'm going to take that tag end and measure it down the main line, and I'm going to take another loop exactly where the end of that tag line was, and I'm going to repeat the process. You've got the top and the bottom of the loop. You start twisting the top of the loop, put your finger in there, and give yourself about 10 wraps. The top would be technically at the bottom of the screen. The bottom of the loop is at the top of the screen. So I am now wrapping the top of the loop. And I'm going to put 2 fingers through that little hole that I'm twisting right there. Grab the other end, pull it through, and again, lightly cinch it and pull it through. Put it in your mouth, and now use your mouth to help tighten the knot, and then eventually use your fingers to help seat the knot. And just like the first one there, slide that tight, pull it taut, and seated. And again, that's the dropper loop knot. With the secret sauce, just going to go ahead and cut it real quick. And then we're going to be able to take a couple of gold beads, a clevis connected to a small swivel, a couple of orange, red, yellow, chartreuse, whatever color you decide, beads, and a small hook. The hooks I like using are made by Bear Paw. It's a very, very short gap, but a long shank, and they're super sharp. They hold the bait fantastic, and they'll hook just about anything. So here you go. There's the first dropper loop with the tag end. There's my second dropper loop with the tag end. You can kind of see how close I cut that off. Don't leave your tag ends too long. It's just asking for snags and for get yourself all wrapped up and twisted. So here's one of the hooks. Again, they're very, very narrow gap hooks. I've got the clevis, super small clevis. You slide the line right through that. On this particular spinner, I have 3 orange beads and 2 small tiny gold beads. You'll see the gold, there you go. There's the gold beads. So all you're going to do is grab one of those tag ends, and the first step is to slide on one of the gold beads. Now note the proper direction of the tag end. You're going to want to have wraps on the main line on each side of the tag end. So if you have any wraps on the line, that is not the proper line. The tag end that you're putting these beads on does not have any wraps on it. So gold bead first, followed with the clevis, and the spinner. And a little tip, the concave part of the spinner faces the end of the tag end. So that's backwards. I spin it around. I'll show you here in just a quick second. Again, the concave part of the spinner faces the end of the tag end, right there. Another gold bead. Now we're going to add our 3 orange beads. I like orange. I don't know what it is about Perch. They like orange too. But orange and chartreuse. All right. Now we're going to take that hook and we're going to snell it on. Note those hooks are bent, intended to be snelled. A snell knot, you're going to take it through, make a loop. Little extra tag end, never hurt anything on a snell. So now you're going to pinch everything, the hook and that loop. I'm going to take the tag end and give it 5 wraps. Again, I'm using 40-pound braid, so anything over 5 wraps isn't going to fit. Usually 4 or 5 is enough with the weight of this line. Again, just going around the shank of the hook. Now I'm going to pinch it in my one hand, grab that tag end, feed it through the loop, pinch it with my other hand, pinch the whole thing, and start pulling that loop down through, which will now cinch up on that tag end, and that's how you snell a hook. From there, that rig's complete. We've got our gold beads, our spinner, our orange beads, our hook. We just got to make sure to cut that tag end off. I generally like to cut them pretty close. You'll note I don't think I cut that one enough, so I go back at it, cut a little bit more. Tag ends are the #1 reason you'll get stuck up and twisted and tangled. Cut those tag ends off. The other reason is too light. So there we go. We show you how we did that. That hook is just about perfect. Got that nice little chartreuse spinner on there. And that's the first hook. Now I'm just going to duplicate it again with an orange spinner. Again, note the tag end will not have any wraps on it. Start out with your gold bead. Put your clevis on. Put the spinner on the clevis, concave part facing the tag end. And you're just running that line right through that clevis. Or no, actually, gold bead first, my bad. And then the 3 orange beads. And then we're going to snell on another bear paw. Oop. Again, note these hooks have a bent eye made for snelling. If you get traditional hooks that aren't bent, then they will not hang right. They will hang all cockeyed. Again, we're going to give it about 4 or 5 wraps here around the shank end, right at the eye. Let's get one more wrap on there. Pinch it. Put that tag end through that loop. Pinch it in the other hand. And pull that line taut to tighten that loop. And you are now done with your business ends. Again, cut that tag end off. And now we've got that orange one mounted. Again, dropper loop. Easy peasy so far. Now you're going to need a snap and or snap swivel, both combination, depending on what kind of sinkers you're using. If your sinkers have swivels on them, you can get away with just using a snap. If your sinkers are molded without having any kind of swivel, put a swivel on them. Otherwise, your rig is just going to sit down there and spin and not look as natural. This is a fast snap. If you're not familiar with them, Google them. They're the greatest thing in the world. The fast snap and then your swivel. First going to tie the fast snap on to the bottom end where your weight will go. Fast snaps are just that. They will allow you to change weight. If you're fishing 1 ounce and feel you need 1.5 ounces or maybe 2 ounces, you can simply slide them on and slide them off. But they will not fall off. So I'm just doing a fisherman's knot on this. I'm going to do about 5 wraps. Take that tag end through that hole. Having a hard time seeing. The lighting wasn't good. Then cinch that knot down. This is the tag end I think is the most important, boys and girls. This is the tag end that always gets you tangled. So cut it off. That one and the one on the swivel at the top. I don't know what it is about those, but cut those tag ends off. You'll have a lot less headaches. So now again, seat that knot by tightening it as tight as you can. Grab a sinker. I'm noting it's got a swivel here. So with that, you can simply put it on the snap. Boom. That quick. Now we're going to go up to the top of this. We're going to put a swivel up there, which I'm usually running a fast snap on the end of my braid coming off of my reel. So that way I can quickly change colors or change to a fly or change to a spreader or something of that nature. I don't have to sit there and tie any knots. Usually the boat's bobbing up and down or it's windy or whatever. So it's easier not to have to tie any knots while you're on the boat. I just use those fast snaps and connect everything. So again, using a fisherman's knot to seat this swivel. We got her seated up nice and tight. Grab that tag end. Cut that off as close as the knot as you can. Test it. Make sure it's tight. And you are now done. So here's what we're looking at. We're looking at a swivel at the top. Going to our first dropper loop. Going down to some beads. A spinner and a hook. Going to our second dropper loop. Same thing. Beads, spinner, and a hook. Down a little more to a swivel-based sinker. Here's what she looks like. And note, with a heavier line, note how my hooks come off of the main and don't wrap straight down and twist around it. Of course, my hook did just catch the main there, but note this one. See how far out those hooks are? The reason is it's 40-pound braid. Take some 5-pound braid. It'll end up twisting before you even lift it up. A little bit heavier. Perch are not line shy, so don't be afraid to go heavy with these rigs. And that's it, gang. Appreciate you watching. Good luck, and as always, good fishing.